Coming up, we have stories about disagreements over wedding dress costs. Snooping on your partner's messages. Well, that's a new one. Remodeling kids' rooms. Entitled partners. Unwarranted school suspensions. We also have petty revenge, cake stories, and spicy stories. All the stories. Hey there, Dusty Thunder here with a story for you. This is Am I the Astronaut for asking my friend to help pay for my wedding dress. I got married a few years ago. My friend, let's call her Jen, is a professional tailor. When we told her about the engagement, she generously offered that as a wedding present, she would do pro bono alterations for not only my wedding dress, but my wife's as well. The wedding was scheduled for October 15th. My then fiance and I separately went dress shopping in January. My fiance's dress was scheduled to arrive in June, and mine would come in late July. I checked with Jen to see if that time frame would work for her, and she said yes. We started fittings in early August. She would go on the dress here and there, and then we'd meet back up for refittings and adjustments throughout August and September. Then it was October, and we were cutting things close, no pun intended. On the 5th, 10 days before the wedding, Jen said that she wasn't going to be able to finish the alterations before the wedding after all. She still had several steps left to do, and she was about to go out of town. She was super apologetic, recommending another tailor, and offered to pay for the remaining alterations. She also gave me a detailed explanation about what still needed to be done so I could tell the tailor. Jen estimated it would probably cost $100 to $200. For a rush job that ended up being a lot of finishing touches, the cost was $700. I have no idea if the second tailor majorly ripped me off or if Jen just underestimated what was left to do, but I wasn't about to start haggling right before my wedding. Jen had already offered to cover the expense, but since she hadn't planned on $700, I offered to split the cost halfway with her instead. She was shocked at the price tag, but agreed to pay half. It was an extremely small backyard wedding, immediate family only, so Jen had always known she wasn't attending. I did send her photos of my wife and me in our dresses, and made sure to thank her for all of her hard work. There's never been a confrontation per se between Jen and me, but we abruptly went from seeing each other fairly frequently to not seeing each other at all, or even really texting. She and her husband host get-togethers from time to time, and I stopped getting invites. I've had a couple of people in my life suggest I should have turned down her offer to pay for the remaining alterations to begin with, and once I found out the price, I definitely shouldn't have followed up on her paying for any of it, let alone half. Am I the astronaut? Edit. Because it's been asked, Jen knew from the beginning that she wasn't invited to the wedding. It was in my parents' small inner-city backyard. My wife and I agreed in the planning stage that we couldn't make any exceptions to the immediate family-only rule, or else the guest list would keep creeping upward. Also, as addressed in the comments, there were a couple of fittings that needed to be rescheduled, which I took 50% responsibility for, and they were always made up within a week of when we had originally planned the fitting. Edit 2. Thank you for letting me know I'm the asshole. I know that's going to sound sarcastic, but I'm autistic, which is probably part of the problem. There are clearly a lot of social expectations that I wasn't aware of, but intention being less than impact, and regardless, I took advantage of Jen's offer. I'm going to send her money back and apologize. Probably too late to repair this friendship, but that's the least I can do. Okay, we know how it ended, but let's talk about how it got there and what your thoughts are here. Tater Uni.
So clearly Reddit voted her the asshole. Yeah, I mean, I'm just confused about like Jen's behavior where she offered to do this. They clarified multiple times if the timeline was going to work, and Jen said yes. But then like she was like, I'm going out of town 10 days before. Like that would be a lot to be stranded 10 days before the ceremony between her and between OP and her wife.
Yeah, that's a major fucking.
And then to have to find another tailor like that quickly, like that close to your wedding. So I'm like, but I understand like how much it cost, and that, I mean, ultimately that is on OP to pay for, not Jen. But I do feel like she left her high and dry. So I don't think this is you're the asshole. I think this is kind of like an ESH, more so Jen sucks. And for me, Jen sucks more than OP.
I would agree with that. I think the friend sucks a lot worse. You don't offer to do something that is a critical, once-in-a-lifetime, time-dependent, deadline event, horizon-driven thing.
Yeah, and NTA, actually. I just have to clarify that. NTA. 100, after you said that, like, NTA.
And then get within 10 days of it and be like, I'm
going out of town.
I can't do it. Yeah, deuces. and then offer to pay for the alterations and then have some kind of feelings about that, which
she offered to pay for the alterations.
She offered to pay for the alterations.
She found a tailor and offered to pay.
She was shocked, but OP already offered to split that, right? Which I feel like was a major olive branch, and she could have just been like, hey, you offered to do this. Like, this is what it takes. And it was a tailor that she recommended as well. So, I mean, literally none of this was caused by OP. None of it. It was the friend falling short of what she tried to do. Maybe the friend bit off more than she could chew. Obviously, she did. Offering to do pro bono alterations as soon as they told her about the engagement. They did not ask. She offered. She failed. The price of failing here was $700, and OP split that with her. So,
and also, I think they're like, she wasn't invited, and I think Reddit might have got hung up on that. But if it's like a small ceremony just between their family and like just immediate family, like parents and siblings type thing, I mean, I wouldn't be offended not to be invited to that, knowing I'm not invited, knowing they're just doing something small. Like, here's
the one question mark I have though, and OP says this several times, like she knew she wasn't invited. It was a small family gathering. Okay. Telling somebody that it is a small event is not the same as telling them, hey, to clarify, you're not invited, right? So I don't think OP can say with 100% confidence here that she knew she wasn't invited. She might not have. She might have thought that small gathering meant it included her, and she never says she explicitly told her. She just says she knew. So just that doesn't have any bearing on my voting here. I'm just saying it's a possibility, right? I'm still NTA for OP here. I feel like what Jen did was shitty. And yeah, Jen flopped, and that's why she offered to pay for the alterations. They were more than she expected them to be. That's not OP's fault. That's Jen's fault for cutting it so close to where it had to be in the rush fee territory, which automatically doubles the cost of everything. So
yeah, I think she grossly
bit off more than she could chew.
No, she underestimated how much it was going to cost. Because she didn't factor in the rush fee, which is normally like a double charge for something that you need on the fly. And I don't think Jen thought that through, maybe. I'm not sure. But to just do this 10 days before somebody's wedding, I think that is just asshole behavior. Yep, especially when you committed to it. And then you're just going on vacation. So you're on your own now, but hope it works out.
Yeah. And Charlie Horse, but if she didn't get an invitation, okay, fair. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This happened when they told her about the engagement. So maybe her not getting invitation had something to do with her lack of urgency in getting these things done, which again, not OP's fault, but I'm still at NTA for OP here.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's go ahead and make that official.
What the fuck were people thinking on Reddit?
I think it was you shouldn't have asked somebody to pay for. I mean, she offered to pay, and then OP offered to split it. So I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, OP was only in that situation where it cost that much to begin with because of Jen. If you're not going to,
there it is.
If you're not going to complete the mission, don't offer to do it pro bono. Because had OP and OP's fiance had that much time, months and months and months, to get alterations done on their own, they would have paid for it, and it would have been whatever it was. It would not have been the double charge there at the end.
As Elise said, $700 for wedding alterations is incredibly affordable. In my opinion, when I worked at a bridal shop in high school, wedding dress alterations started at $500.
So, and I'm sure the rebuttal here is it was just a punch list of finishing things, right? It wasn't the full blown alteration. It was the final pass of things that needed to be finished.
I think anything dealing with a wedding dress is, depending on the intricacy of it, is very expensive. Yeah, for sure.
Just bonkers. Just bonkers. Okay, so we are at NTA for you, OP. We disagreed with Reddit this time. And the question was, am I the astronaut for asking my friend to help pay for my wedding dress? No. Turns out you're not, at least to us. It is a sticky situation, but one that you were only in because your friend put you there. So she's got a feeling about this. Obviously, you're not invited to do things with her anymore. That's probably more so about her awkward feelings than it is about you doing something wrong. So if you value that friendship, reach out, have a conversation, because there's awkward air there that can be cleared with a nice conversational fart.
But conversational fart?
Conversational fart.
OP said this was a few years ago.
Oh, well, then never mind. You're fucked.
I don't know.
Or you're not fucked, but you've accepted that you're going to be in awkward limbo forever. And that's, it is what it is.
There could be so many reasons for that, though.
Sure. Could be the lack of invitation. It could be a lot of things.
It could be because you looked at her weird and she didn't like it. There could be any number of reasons why Jen is acting the way she's acting. IDK.
Dusty Thunder with yet another story for you. This one is, will I be the astronaut if I broke up with my girlfriend for going through my messages while I was in the shower? For context, my girlfriend, 25 female, let's call her L, and I got together late last year, both of us fresh out of rough relationships. Things have been mostly good, but we've had a recurring argument about my friend group. The majority of my close friends are women, which has been a consistent source of insecurity for her. She's even threatened to break up with me if I moved back in with my best friend, a move we had planned 7 months before I met L. I've been clear with her from the start. None of these women are anything more than friends to me, and none of them were failed talking stages. At some point, I told her flat out that if she can't trust me, we can't be together. She agreed and told me she's trying to trust me as she's been through a lot before. I understand she's been hurt before, and though I sympathize with her trying to protect herself, I'm not anyone from her past. Fast forward, I was in the shower with her at my place. My Discord was open on my PC, which she has had access to before, and she went through it. OP was in the shower, and she was at OP's place, not OP was in the shower with her. I was like, was she brought your computer into the shower, man? That just seems irresponsible. She found old flirty messages between a friend and me, someone I hadn't even spoken to, and had already had a conversation about ending things months prior. Elle didn't know any of that context. She nearly walked out. I got her to calm down, explained everything, and she moved past it. Here's the real issue. I've always been open with her. She can go through anything if she just asks me. On top of that, Elle has told me multiple times that she doesn't go through her partner's devices because she can't handle what she might find after what her ex put her through. So not only did she go back on her own word, she did it without asking while I was literally in the shower. My ex did the same thing, and it was a big reason we ended. This touched the same nerve. Even after we talked it through, my gut hasn't settled on moving past it. I genuinely like Elle, and I think she's a good person at her core, but she's carrying unresolved stuff that I don't think being in a relationship is going to fix for her. Will I be the astronaut if I were to break up with her because she invaded my privacy? So OP says something interesting that I want to address here. OP says, I think she's carrying, where was it?
Unresolved stuff that I don't think being in a relationship is going to fix for her.
Which I agree with. However, do you think OP could say the same thing for themselves?
Oh, because it touched.
Because OP just got out of a
yes
rough
and no.
relationship as well.
I understand what you're saying, but I also think he ended that relationship and created a boundary for himself or for themselves, where it was, this is not something I want to do. I want to be in a relationship where we trust each other. I'm open if you ask. That's a boundary to me because they're not, like, I feel like that's, if you want to see something, ask me.
Yeah.
That's the one boundary that I have here. And she crossed that boundary. She didn't cross it. She just ran across it.
Who does this remind you of? What show did we start watching last night? Temptation Island.
Yeah.
We started the new season of Temptation Island, which, by the way, Mark L. Wahlberg. That's right? Mark. You are fantastic, and you are the reason we watch that show. I want to become your apprentice to host that show someday when you decide to hang it up. I feel like I could do it, but I want you to teach me your ways because you are fantastic. Love that show because of Mark. There are some really good lessons to be learned.
Yeah, I agree.
Through watching that, and this story sounds like some of the things you see playing out on that show. You see people carrying their baggage and how it affects their inability to be stable and to trust, now for good reason.
For sure. Everything that we go through in life, creates baggage. It shapes us into the people that we are, and we are going to carry that into a relationship. I think step one is recognizing that you have this, that you know it's there and it's something that you need to work on. But when you repeatedly stomp over a boundary that your partner has put in place, and I think this is a healthy boundary. I feel like Elle really needs to do some self-reflection because she she can't handle what she doesn't know, and she's always looking for something to be wrong. And moving forward, she needs to be able to trust someone. And until she can like say, I trust you, or you have this boundary, it's healthy, let's explore it together. Like, she can't do that. She needs to find something that's wrong and dwell on it. And until she's able to just move forward in a healthy, more trustful way, I don't think Elle should be in a relationship.
So, yeah, agreed, because Elle's spidey sense is going to be going off 24/7 right now because of that relationship she just got out of, right? She's always sensing something's wrong because she's coming out of a state where something was always wrong. Now, it's just spidey sense still tingling. There's a problem. I just got to find it.
Well, until exactly. And then when you always think that there's a problem, you're always looking for a problem, and you're going to create one whether it exists or not. And she here created a problem that did not exist. And had they explored that together, and she had permission to look, he could have explained the context of whatever she found.
Right.
But instead, she found it, thought she found a problem, and then freaked out, and he had to calm her down. Which I think is maybe the nerve that he's talking about it touching on. Yeah,
having to do that for him. Man, yeah, she's stuck in a vicious cycle. And she will be until I feel like I agree with OP here in that this is one of those issues that you can't resolve while in a relationship.
Yeah.
If you've been burned with trust issues like this before, this requires some self-sufficiency. This requires an independent period where you really find yourself and you're not as codependent on someone else so that you can regain your strength and your independence before trying to find someone who can fit into your life, because needing someone that badly allowed her to be taken advantage of. And now she's convinced it's happening all the time.
Right.
So I think you have to get to the viewpoint and the independence level where you are like, look, if somebody wants to be with me, they'll be with me. If they don't want to be with me, they won't be with me. And their actions will prove it either way.
She needs to love herself. Like, she's trying to base it on so many different things instead of just accepting that someone loves her.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like you can truly accept that until you love yourself for who you are, all of the baggage included.
Right.
And you can go, you can go into a relationship with baggage, but at some point, you still have to work through it. Like, with your partner, you still have to understand it and move forward together. But until you face it and understand it, it's always going to be like a dark bird on your shoulder.
A dark bird. There's a dark bird on your shoulder.
It's a crow.
Crapping. It's crapping on you.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Everybody carries baggage into relationships, right? You do. You carry issues from previous relationships. It's inevitable. There's no way. Did. Yeah, absolutely. And you work through those together once you figure out how to do it. But recognizing that you're punishing your partner for baggage from previous relationships is the first step toward fixing it, right? And Elle's not there yet. So get there, hopefully. And OP, like Tater said, this is a boundary, right? Now, an important part of the boundary is having some kind of consequence for crossing it. Otherwise, it's just a suggestion or a request, right? This boundary has to be like, hey, if you do not respect this policy that we have where you can see anything you want, you just have to ask me so that we can talk about it instead of you making assumptions, then we can't be together. There's got to be an or, like an or else. There's got to be that part of it. Otherwise, it's not really a boundary. So think about that. And best of luck. Yeah. Do we make an official determination here? Will I be the astronaut if I broke up with my girlfriend for going through my messages while I was in the shower?
No, you would not.
You wouldn't be an asshole for it. But understand.
This is really asshole. Like, I don't think there's really asshole behavior happening here. I think it's just relationship.
It's baggage.
It's just relationship stuff.
You wouldn't be an asshole for dipping at this point, but also there's an opportunity to help somebody and to grow stronger together, or do a try to. Not saying it's going to work, but you could try to. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and dive into the spicy story. This is, am I the astronaut for throwing away my wife's sketchbook?
Yes.
Obligatory throwaway. My wife and I have been married for a year. I am incredibly lucky that I get to spend the rest of my life with her. She's from an extremely rough upbringing that taught her to never speak up, be non-confrontational, not to speak when spoken to, etc. She's always the first to apologize after a fight. She's very passive and struggles to find her voice. I personally think that she is too empathetic for her own good. With my help, she's learning to be more assertive. After an argument with anyone, instead of finding a solution to the problem or compromising, she retreats to a room and begins to draw in her sketchbook. She's a phenomenal artist, but I wish she wouldn't shut everyone out who was trying to help her. She'll just be completely silent for a while, just drawing, and then come out to confront the issue.
That's normal.
Yeah, that's called processing, fucker. Her father, with whom she has a terrible and strained relationship, contacted her recently asking for money. Then her father showed up at our door with 2 other men unannounced, and my wife and my father-in-law got into a huge argument. I've never seen a grown woman chastised by her father before. Her older brother managed to chase him out. When he left, she broke down, and her brother had to comfort her. Her brother had to leave, so when we were alone, she was somewhat calm. I tried to reason with her, suggesting she call her father to officially end their toxic relationship. My wife practically ignored me in favor of retreating to a corner to draw in her infamous sketchbook. The next day I tried again. Her father will always look down upon her and view her as inferior if she shows even a hint of vulnerability. I urged to put her foot down, but she went to go draw. I couldn't take being ignored, and I wanted to stop enabling her unhealthy coping mechanism.
What the? No.
When she was out, I threw out her sketchbook with her drawing utensils. When she found out, she was upset. I explained to her that I did it for her best interest. I thought that time would heal this attachment to her sketchbook, but she's still mad at me. Am I the astronaut? I wasn't doing it maliciously, but she needs to learn to confront her issues with people she has problems with. Let's pause and talk about this for a second.
You weren't doing it maliciously. You literally said, I couldn't take being ignored, so I threw away her shit. That's malicious. That's all about you and nothing about her. I couldn't take being ignored, so I threw her stuff away. One, art therapy is a perfectly healthy way to cope with whatever she's got going on, and she's processing her fucking feelings, and you can't take it because she's not doing it the way you want her to do it. What is wrong with this man?
this
child.
This guy's like, not to use popsicle psychology. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let me draw a parallel for you, OP. You are disgusted by her father because if he sees any kind of vulnerability in her at all, he rejects it. You view her sketchbook coping mechanism as a vulnerability and you reject it.
Right?
You are her fucking father. You are the same level of abuse as he was. Ugh. You piece of shit. So first of all,
this guy sucks.
This guy sucks. Bad. Bad. Her dad asking for money and then showing up trying to strong arm her, like that's a whole separate issue here.
Exactly.
We're focused on you, OP, because you have you say it's not malicious. Okay, if it's not malicious, it's ignorant. And it's reckless. I.e. negligent. You are doing damage thinking you're doing the right thing here.
You don't think you're doing the right thing.
And that's more dangerous.
It's all about him. Like everything he said here is about her not processing the stuff the way that he wants her to do it. He's like, I'm helping her become more assertive. But then she's just doing it.
With my help, she'll be a decent human being.
Exactly. And he's like, I can't take being ignored. I can't take her not talking to me. I can't take her going into a room to process her feelings away from me. I need to have control.
Yeah. I will not enable her.
So he exercised
mechanism.
Ridiculous control again by throwing it all away.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Dude.
Elise dropped the 5 and said, I was in the other room and came running as soon as I heard Candy's tone of voice. I knew the comments would be good. Sam Goofball dropping the 5 straight to the black hole. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Go to the black hole. Agreed. Let's send OP to the black hole. And that's before we even read the fucking edit. Cool thing about the black hole is there's no coming back. You can't escape it.
I don't think you can undo what he's done.
You can't unring that bell. Here's the edit. I got her a new sketchbook and expensive art supplies. I apologized, and I now understand that it is a healthy coping mechanism.
Do you?
I assumed it was unhealthy because, in my opinion, she was using it as a crutch, but I now know that I'm in the wrong. She's staying with her brother for a week so they could properly figure out her father's situation. I didn't realize how serious it truly was. You don't fucking say. There's a lot of things you just didn't realize, OP. It's really interesting. It's like you have your perception of things at the surface fucking level and you assume that's the way the whole world knows that it is.
You're not even trying to get her to process things in a healthy way. You're trying to get her to confront people who are clearly unhinged, like her father, before she's even had a chance to process what she's feeling, knowing that she had a terrible past, knowing that she had a hard upbringing, and you want her to just run straight forward into conflict with for what? Because you think, like you say again, in my opinion, dude, the only thing that you could have done to help her was buy her art supplies. And you did the exact opposite of that.
Really? Like, all you had to do?
You are unhealthy, in my opinion.
All you had to do was support her instead of trying to change her. Like, think about it this way. The only stable person she has had in her entire life who hasn't tried to take advantage of her, to our understanding at this point, is her brother. All you had to do was be a rock, man. All you had to do was not try to fucking change her, but support her and be there when she needs to talk, when she needs somebody to bounce ideas and feelings off of. But you couldn't fucking do that because that wasn't your understanding of the world. It's gross. It's gross. And you know what's funny? OP's like, yeah, she's staying with her brother for a week. She's never coming back, man. She's never coming back. Well, it's just a short-term thing.
You broke whatever trust she had left in you when you took it upon yourself to throw away the sketchbook. Also, who does that? Like, who takes somebody's art and all of their art supplies and just throws them away because you think that you know what is best for them? A grown fucking adult. Like, who does that?
And it's wild that OP is treating her like a child.
It's fucking weird.
Treating like a child and parenting shittily. Like,
it's weird. It's 100% like, this is not okay.
Good job, OP. Good luck in your future relationships, because this one's over.
For your coping mechanisms, I would suggest therapy.
Yeah.
Because clearly you can't stand being ignored.
Also,
and this is what you do. Like, you need to see a therapist.
You need to see a therapist and be single for a good long while to make sure you're not subjecting anyone else to this. Which, speaking of Temptation Island, was another thing that we actually saw happen last night. We saw this guy who had done something pretty fucking terrible realize he had done something pretty fucking terrible and seemingly like internalized it, and was like, this has happened before, so clearly like it's me. There's something serious to fix here. Which is great. That's step one. It doesn't absolve anything. It doesn't unring the bell, but it's a step toward becoming a better fucking human being. Right. OP, take notes.
We should say that his thing was body shaming. So
yeah, it was body shaming.
That's a big thing.
It was a BFD. And yes, I mean, what he said doesn't absolve him of anything.
Right.
But he at least looks like he's serious about working on changing whatever he needs to change to make sure that he never does that shit again. So that's a start.
Hello.
There's a button. There's a button there.
Probably my last live stream with you all.
What the fuck ever, man. Go ahead and tell him. Tell him your story.
Listen, I had a dream last night. That I'm glad we're getting this as a video archive for Candy Thunder to look back on one day after Friday, and it's all over for me. But I had a dream last night that a storm came through, and it was at the Kansas Speedway up in Kansas City where NASCAR is. And it was at the campground, and there was a tornado, and it hit the racetrack, and it hit the campground, and there were campers thrown everywhere, and just everything was like destroyed. And like me and my buddy were just rolling into town, and we were like, man, I'm glad we weren't here for this. This could have been bad. This is crazy. So then I woke up and I looked at the weather for this weekend, where I am going to Kansas City on Friday for the races in Kansas City this weekend. And the weather forecast for Friday says potentially damaging hail, tornadoes, gusting winds, heavy rain and flooding, and all of that. I'm like, oh, So maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe this was it. And I was like, well, this is it for me.
He's a precog.
I was like, this is how it ends. I was like, this is how it ends. So I told Candy Thunder, I was like, well, this is it.
Hey, here's a question.
This is it for me. My impending expiration is on Friday.
I don't expect anybody to have an answer to this, but it's just food for thought. At a NASCAR track in particular, because it's just a big oval, right? Mm-hmm. Theoretically, with the heat from
it's funny you bring that up.
Actually create more of a rotation, more of a low-level rotation to make it more prone.
It's funny you bring that up. That's called the vortex theory. And there's a long-time NASCAR broadcaster, was a former driver, one of the greatest of all time, Darrell Waltrip. He became a commentator, and he always had the theory that when it was going to rain and there was impending weather, because in NASCAR, like if it rains, you can't drive in the rain, right? Because they don't have treads on their tires. They're slick tires. You can't drive in the rain. So he had this thing called the vortex theory, so that you could see a storm system moving in and get ready to rain. His theory was like you keep them running, and the vortex from the wind clears it out and keeps it from happening. Which in some ways,
creates a tornado.
Well, but in some ways that is somewhat true, because there have been instances where like it might be just misting or sprinkling a little bit and they keep running and it keeps heating racetracks. So the water doesn't do that. But it was always funny. He always had that theory, the vortex theory. It's what they'd always say, like if a storm's coming in and they're like, he's like, we just keep them running and it'll be good. It'll scare it off.
Vortex theory, baby.
Yeah.
Giggity.
So yeah, anyway, that's, this is probably it for me after I've had a premonition. And if it takes me, my theory is if it takes me, I'm going to be in a camper in a parking lot. Like if it's coming for me, it's coming for me. Like there's nothing I'm going to be able to do except crack a beer, sit in a lawn chair, and like Toby Keith said, grab a 6-pack in a lawn chair. There's a tornado coming. That's, R.I.P. Toby. But that's my, so we'll see.
Hey there, Dusty Thunder here with another story for you. This is Am I the Astronaut for remodeling my stepkids' rooms after their mom passed away, since they weren't going to be living with me anyway. Oh, this doesn't feel complicated at all, or awkward, or uncomfortable. Yeah, this is a story you're giving feedback on, buddy. Look at that. Serendipitous. I've never been a legal guardian of my stepchildren. They have a father and had a mom. I was just their mom's husband. I never had a problem with this. Their biological father is a bit flaky, but his parents and he always made sure his child support was up to date and that all of his custody time was spent with his family. The kids were always polite to me, and I tried my best to be an adult they could come to with their problems. My wife died last year. It was an illness that came out of nowhere, and she was gone before we knew it. We had 2 young children of our own, and now I was a single dad. My in-laws stepped up to help me with our children and hers. They established grandparents' rights and got visitation. Their dad got full custody. My 2 stepkids moved in with their paternal grandparents since their dad lives in a bachelor loft. My house has 6 bedrooms since we finished the basement, so I could move my office down there. So the breakdown used to be us in the master suite. Our kids were in one room and the stepkids each had a room. Then I had an office in the basement and a playroom that we converted to a guest room when needed. Once the stepkids moved out, I started thinking about the future. I left everything alone for 3 months. I didn't want to rush into anything, and I wanted them to be able to come home if they needed. They never did. I called their dad and asked him to please pick up all their stuff so I could clean up and paint the rooms. That whole side of the family went nuts. They accused me of trying to get rid of them and erase them from their home. I don't have any sort of legal rights over those kids. God forbid they ever get hurt or something. I can't legally make any decisions for them. All I want is to have a room for each of my kids on the same floor as me and move my office back upstairs. I offered to turn both basement rooms into guest rooms where they could stay if they wanted to stay over when they were visiting their half-siblings. That wasn't accepted. I needed to leave their rooms alone. I boxed up their stuff and put it in boxes downstairs. I painted the rooms, and each of my kids got their own room upstairs. Their dad still hasn't picked up their stuff because he called me names for the things I did. I don't even know how he knows, since the stepkids have not been here since the funeral. Am I the asshole for prioritizing my children over my stepkids and remodeling my home to exclude them? Okay, let's talk about this.
How do you feel about it after the title, based on just the title versus the story?
I think that it happened quick, right? It happened quick and it was kind of cold, and that's their problem. I think that's everybody's reactionary problem to this was OP doesn't seem to be grieving, or maybe is grieving through this chill, and is grieving and is nesting and is doing this with the nervous energy instead of really confronting their feelings on this. Like they're remaining project driven, which I understand. But I think you also have to understand that your reactions, although they may appear logical to you, this is not a purely logical situation. This is a highly emotional situation. And I have a lot of problems with a lot of things in a lot of parts of this story, like not being close enough with these kids in the first place to be any kind of real parental figure to them, and to have any desire to see them after your wife passed, or for them to have any desire to see you. Like there was nothing there, which means it was awkward when they were there. Said you tried your best to be a person they could come to with their problems or whatever, but you didn't love these kids. And that, as a bonus parent, I feel like is problematic. But it definitely explains the position you're in now, where it was just you're not coming back. I know you're not coming back. You don't want to come back, so I'm going to convert your rooms. But this is an emotional time. And I feel like if I were in OP's position, like I would hope that I had an ongoing relationship. And if that was an infrequent relationship, I wouldn't touch the room, most likely. And if I wanted to touch the room, I'd probably wait at least a year before doing anything, right? Because it's an emotional time, and this can just amplify like the grief people are going through. So it's touchy. We don't know the ages of the kids. That's the tough part. We don't know.
Do you think though that, I feel like he offered somewhat of a solution that he was still going to have room for them should they choose to come visit, right? Like he's going to have rooms for them. He said that it's not their room, but there is rooms there. Obviously, I get what you're saying when you're like, he didn't love them, or I feel like maybe, did it ever say he didn't? I don't know that he didn't love them, that there wasn't some love there for them, and obviously some caring for them when you say you try to do this and you provided like a home for them and you did all this stuff. But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of taking his side a little bit on this, that I think that, obviously he's grieving, as the kids are grieving, all of that's happening. And for him, maybe this is just the way for him to kind of start to move on and put his life back together, move the kids his kids into these other rooms. Hey, if the kids, he's not saying don't come visit. He's not saying don't come here. Don't ever come see me. If you come here, hey, there's 2 rooms down here. We've got places for you to stay. If you come, again, they're making no effort to go see him either. So it's not, the rooms are there. He hasn't touched the room. It's not like the day she died, he packed up their shit, cleaned up the room and said, get out. Like they haven't made an effort to come and see him either. So I think it's both of them, but I think it's both sides of this that aren't making an effort to do things.
Maybe could be largely communication driven, but it's hard to put the onus of this kind of situation on kids in any way, regardless of their age, right? Dark Lord said here, and I think this helps kind of drive it home from the kids' perspective, they lost mom, home, space, and family as they knew it, right?
True.
So it amplifies the loss. And the offer to have the downstairs rooms be guest bedrooms came after the damage was done of reaching out to dad to say, hey, can you come get their stuff, because I'm going to paint these rooms. It wasn't even a discussion with these girls or these kids. And again, we don't know their ages. We don't know how long they were married. There were a lot of things we don't know there. Now, there's one path here where it is in OP's potential defense. Maybe OP is very robotic and logic driven and doesn't have a lot of emotional side, which would explain a lot of the I was just their mom's husband. And is now like, with the situation at present, I need to do as much as possible for the kids that are under my care as a single dad now. I get that. But this was a highly emotional time. Everyone's feeling a lot of things. And if at minimum, I feel like not furthering those kids' loss would have been the decent human being thing to do. OP's looking at it differently here. So yeah, it could be just like, And like you said, this could be indicative of how OP is grieving, is trying to process this.
And I think that maybe that's a part of it, and maybe something that's adding on to his grief, whether he knows about it or whether he consciously realizes it or not, or after his wife is gone and he hasn't seen his stepkids now in 3 months. So he's like, wow, so now there is no connection.
I just don't exist.
And so it adds, that could be something that's adding to his grief. And so for him to be able to move on, like I imagine the pain like of losing a spouse and losing something like that and going through that, like, from my experience, my mom passed away. My mom and dad were married for 37 years, right? Like they've been together for 40 years, all that stuff. When my mom passed away, my dad didn't even want to be at that house anymore. Like he was like, I don't even want to be here. Like the house went on the market a few months after. He was like, I'm done with it. Like, I don't want to be here. So for him, that was like, I don't want to be in this situation. So maybe for him, part of this grief is I've lost my wife. I've now have these stepkids, and okay, maybe they weren't the closest as a step parent, bonus parent relationship, right? Like, but that's still a part of your everyday life and a part of your life, and now that is gone. So that's another piece of that is gone. And it's like, you know what? Okay, like I need a fresh start. I need to move on. I need to start putting my life back together and moving on and making, keep going. So. And again, I understand that it's the afterwards, after the fact of they were upset and he realized they were upset and then said, hey, we'll do the bedrooms in the basement, all that stuff. Maybe that's something you didn't think of. But again, maybe the stepkids didn't give him a reason to think that they would be upset about it because they've made no effort to be there. Sure. How valuable is that stuff in their room? How much do they care about the stuff in their room if they haven't touched it in 3 months? Right. Like, so I don't know. I think it's kind of like it's a tough situation because with grief, with loss, with all of that, with a blended family, with loss, with grief, like there's a lot of moving pieces and parts and a lot of emotions that whether or not they realize it or don't realize it, there's a lot of emotions there. Like there's a lot of conscious and subconscious like stuff going on there. So I don't know. It's a very tricky situation.
Yeah. And chat, I don't think we're ignoring his children. Even his mention at this point has been light to the touch. Now, with his kids in mind, what he's doing for his kids. And he's not an asshole for doing those things. He's not an asshole for doing any of the things that he's doing. And they can't have it both ways. Inevitably, they'd probably have to give up those spaces if they're not going to hardly ever be there, right? So logically, all of these things make sense. It is the emotional side of things, especially with these kids and the profound loss that everyone is experiencing him, like not increasing loss, I feel like would have been the most decent thing to do. Not an asshole for doing what he did. Not an asshole at all. Perfectly fine. It's logical. It was going to happen. Maybe pre-communication could have made this less of a big deal. Maybe have strengthened a bridge that could be a relationship after the fact with these with your stepkids. Maybe.
Okay.
But logically. Yeah, but very uncomfortable situation. Tony's jumping back in with some comments applicable. Go for it. I wanted to find the post number one to see if it had ages on here.
He says, you didn't get the timeline right. They ignored me for months. I have not heard from them in months, even though I paid for their phones. And after their father said no, at that point, I packed up their stuff and put it in the basement where it's safe and they can get to it or use it to set up their rooms in the basement. So I think that's one of the biggest things is that they he's been trying to reach out
to them, and they just ignore him. That's different. If he's trying to reach out to them to talk to them,
and they're old enough to have phones, so I haven't found an age.
So they're
yet.
At least 7. I'm kidding. I don't know what age kids get phones now.
He's a little confrontational in the story, but
he's a little confrontational. Yeah. Well.
So he said that the father is a father that loves his kids. He's just a person who's terrible at earning money. And he's not going to badmouth them. So there's not necessarily like he's just saying like because he even said like the father makes sure that he takes care of child support. It sounds like between the father and his parents help with that. He's a good father, just flaky. Yeah.
Okay.
So I still don't.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
So they are older. So they are older because he says my children are the older children's half siblings. So. Well, I still haven't found ages.
That's okay. He said they have 2 young kids of their own, so we know they're let's assume they're out of elementary age at least, which means they have phones and are capable of at least communicating. Things are hard for everybody, but Was there a better way to do it? Maybe. The fact that you did try to reach out and communicate to them before doing anything does help, right? It definitely helps it become less of a, like you may not have had any other option here. But no matter what, it's a Kobayashi Maru.
He said he has texted them and they haven't responded to him.
So Kobayashi Maru, there is an unwinnable situation here. It's just how do you how do you do the least amount of damage?
They're teens. That's as far as I got. Yeah. They're teens.
Yeah. Your teens aren't going to text you even if they're happy. So.
And the younger ones are 5 and 6.
Gotcha. So it's tough. It is tough for everybody. It's been like 3 months, but he did try to reach out to them first. So I'm going to officially say NTA. Maybe there was a better way, but it's just a really fucking tough situation for everybody involved. And emotions are going to be running high for everybody, but OP, who has just, put all of that emotional energy into painting.
Somebody said
13 and 14.
I scrolled through a lot and I might have missed it.
Okay. They could have blocked him. They could have. Yep. Hey there, Dusty Thunder once again with another story for you. This is Am I the Astronaut for feeling hurt/disappointed and being called spoiled and entitled by my husband. I, 32 female, have been married to my husband, 31 male, for about 3 years. Recently, he's been calling me spoiled and entitled, and I'm honestly struggling to understand if I'm actually in the wrong here. For context, I grew up in a family that is relatively comfortable financially. I have received gifts over the years, and I do recognize that I'm lucky in that sense, but I've never thought of myself as someone who automatically expects things or demands them. I don't throw tantrums, guilt people, or insist on getting expensive items. At least I don't think I do. There have been a few recent situations that led to him calling me this, and I want to lay them out as objectively as I can. Every year, my husband's mother buys branded items for him, his father, and herself. In general, she tends to spend a lot of money, even on things she doesn't seem to like. She admitted this to me. What hurt me wasn't that I didn't receive something expensive. It was that I felt completely left out. I was completely left out. Not even something small, just nothing. It made me feel excluded. I didn't say anything to her. I didn't complain to anyone. I just felt hurt and was a bit quiet for a couple of days while I processed it. Eventually, I moved on. When I shared this feeling with my husband, he brushed it off and later used it as an example of my being entitled. 2. The offered gift that turned into an imitation. One day at the mall, I pointed out a Sakura seasonal item, just casually saying it looked cute. I didn't ask for it. I didn't hint heavily or try to persuade him. I was just making a passive comment. He immediately offered to buy it for me. This actually surprised me because he doesn't offer to buy more expensive things, so I felt really happy and touched. Later on, he changed his mind and said it wasn't worth the money. Instead, he bought me a much cheaper imitation version. I think what upset me wasn't about the item itself, it was the emotional whiplash. He raised my expectations by offering, got me excited, and then took it back. It made me feel like my excitement didn't matter. Again, I didn't lash out, I didn't argue, I just became quiet and needed some time to process how I felt. 3. My own mother offering but not following through. My mom once mentioned she might buy me a Chanel bag. I was excited, of course, but I didn't expect it as a guarantee. In the end, she didn't buy it, and I was disappointed. But I didn't say anything to her, didn't complain, and didn't make it an issue. It's her money, and I fully understand that. Still, internally, I felt a bit sad, maybe a 2 to 3 out of a 10 on a sad scale. That's it. My husband says the fact that I feel disappointed in these situations means that I'm spoiled and entitled. To him, even having those feelings is already a problem. From my perspective, I don't think I acted badly in any of those scenarios. I agree that I'm fortunate and have had access to nice things in life, but is it really wrong to feel a bit disappointed? My husband is very firm in his view, and it's starting to make me question myself. He seems to believe that even mild disappointment over material things equals entitlement. So now I'm wondering if I'm missing something. Am I the astronaut for feeling hurt and disappointed in these situations, even if I didn't act on those feelings? Okay, let's talk about this.
I found the thing where she pointed something out at a store.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's just where she pointed something out at a store, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll buy it for you," and then goes to buy it, and then he's like, "No, I'm not going to buy that." Like,
actually, it's not worth that.
That's just shitty. That's mean. That's shitty behavior, and then uses it as an example to call you entitled. Like, that's if that's how it played out, like that's a shitty thing for your partner to do. I feel like is like to get your hopes up, crash them, and then use it against you in a weaponized manner. Like that's like almost like a form of gaslighting, in my opinion, to do this and make you feel a certain way and then take it out from underneath you. I don't think any of the things that she's like trying to convince herself of all of these things, but I mean, what she listed here doesn't seem like she was like completely disappointed. And there's calling your partner spoiled in like a joking, fun, like I'm taking care of you. Oh, you're spoiled. Taking care of you kind of way. And then there's a weaponized version of calling your partner spoiled and entitled in a way that makes them question who they are as a person. And I feel like that's what's happening here.
Spoiled, and then there's a spoiled brat.
Yeah.
And your partner here is calling you a spoiled brat. It's really interesting.
That's a good determination between the two.
It confuses me, but also I think this has to be noted for you in particular, OP. There's this behavior cycle where your partner sees people offer you the treat and then take the treat away and sees what it does to you and then chooses to do that himself, which is really, really shitty. And you said in here, it seems like my excitement doesn't matter. Wrong. Your excitement is the thing that does matter. That's the thing that gives him the power. That's the thing he's witnessed happen in other scenarios here when people offer you the treat and then take it away. It's the crash. That matters too. Here's the funny thing. He says you can't feel any kind of way about anything material at all. Number one, bullshit. You're not an asshole for feeling anything. Right. We talked about that. But also double bullshit, because swap out his lawnmower for a beater. Take his truck and give him a beater, right? He has material things he cares about as well. Take his boots.
We'll take his...
Give him some worn out tennis shoes.
Monogram branded stuff that his parents gave to him.
Oh yeah, he gets the name brand shit from his folks. Take that. He cares.
Oh, was that what it was? I thought it was like she got him all monogram stuff.
No. Branded, like brand name things.
Oh, okay. Okay, I took that differently. I was like, she's buying them all monogram stuff. Like,
she's getting him a cow each time. They got a brand on them.
No, it's a form of control to him.
It is,
because he likes to watch you get excited, and then pull the rug out from underneath you, and then tell you how shitty you are. That's abusive.
Tantric gifting, which doesn't work that way.
It's the form of abuse that makes you question whether or not you're crazy. And then when you respond to it, they light that fire even more by telling you that you're crazy or entitled or materialistic or all these things. But it's that thing that poses the question in your mind, like, am I not? And then it happens again, and then they use it against you again. And that's what, it's not the things that she's not getting. It's the way that he's using the situations to make you feel small. And that's why I call it like either borderline abusive or actually abusive in this situation.
To what
because
end?
He's wanting to make, it's a form of control.
Yeah. But to what end?
Make her feel small.
But so in a lot of situations here, you would see the reactive abuse side of this thing. You would see this be a defense mechanism for a narcissistic dude, right? Mm-hmm. Like they had done something wrong. When you approach them about it, they would start using these examples and attacking your character, basically. That hasn't happened here. He's just randomly firing. He hasn't, OP, to our knowledge here, hasn't approached him and had been like, hey, I want to talk to you about this thing I have a problem with, and him being like, well, what about you, spoiled shit? He's just on the attack instead
that's how
of
the conversation would go,
pretending to be defense, right? So to me, that says there's something that he is building this control for. We don't know what it is yet.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, because at this point, if I'm this woman, I'm shutting down. I'm no longer going to tell you the things that excite me. I'm no longer going to tell you when I feel emotions, which I should be able to share with my partner. I'm shutting down. And when I do that, I'm no longer going to feel safe with you. I'm no longer going to feel like you're a beneficial partner in my life, and I'm going to shut down. And this is the question where the divorce came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming. And it's because I shut down. It's because I didn't have someone to talk to without them weaponizing my feelings against me.
Yeah.
And then when
Gray
you
Rock
do
and
that,
Smashly, I saw your comment before there.
and I'm not going to want to be in this relationship until we can solve this problem, because you talk to this man about this and he's going to use it against you.
Yeah. But
he now has a track record of doing this.
What is the escalation going to look like when Opie stops talking to him? That's the kicker. When the Gray Rock happens, how is he going to react?
Right. I mean, I don't know the answer to that question, but
so the question is, am I asking out for feeling hurt and disappointed and being called a spoiled and entitled, or being called spoiled and entitled by my husband? Absolutely not. I hope you take this as the sign that it is, to look at everything. This is another good loveisrespect.org opportunity to roll through that and be like, okay, I think you are right now really introspective and, I don't even know that
that's
I'm saying
the
that
point, right?
Yeah, you are focused on yourself and really looking for these flaws that he's convinced you do exist, and you're trying to validate them, which good for you. Just somebody says there's something you need to work on, you're trying to validate it and then actually work on it, but you're like, I don't see it.
Right.
And that's the part that makes you feel crazy, right? But it's not there. So hopefully you take this as the sign that it is, and take action in some way.
There's I
Make her afraid to want things, Tabby Cat.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I feel like when that relationship starts changing you this way, when you're only focused on the flaws within yourself because of things that your partner has said, I think that loveisrespect.org is a really good place to turn to know, am I feeling like, is what I'm feeling wrong?
Right.
Is what he's doing wrong, or what they are doing wrong? Like, I feel like questioning that.
Is this relationship toxic?
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what you're going to find out, even if you're going into that with this kind of situation to be like, I'm feeling crazy, but look, is this just a toxic situation that I need to get out of, or is there some kind of resolution to this?
Right.
And to this, not that there's a potential resolution to anything, right? But he is being awfully manipulative, and I don't know that he's going to be game for changing that or becoming self-aware that he's got things to work on, right?
Also, if someone offered to buy me a Chanel purse, like no strings attached,
and then
you weren't sure, but it could possibly happen. I mean,
it's like somebody offering
I would have hopes.
If somebody offered you $1 million
just to put it in a glass case and look at it,
and then an hour later they were like, Ashley, I'm not going to give you $1 million. Like, nobody wouldn't be disappointed.
But there's like, and it's not like the thing. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I've just like, yeah, that's amazing. Oh, I would love to have that.
Right.
Not something I would ever afford or purchase for myself, but, and then someone offers it, and then you're disappointed. But like she said, it's like 2 or 3. It's not like I'm like, this is going to disrupt my life in any way. It's like, I don't need it. It's wow.
It's the training. Okay. It's the dog treat. It is the sit pretty, show me how happy you are. No treats, right? It is that. And what do you expect to happen?
Right.
Like, for his expectation for you to just be like, it's fine. I like it when people offer me things and then don't follow through. What the fuck does this guy want?
I would try to talk about this with my partner. If they're completely dismissive of my feelings, that's where Gray Rock would enter. Gray Rock would enter the chat.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I tried to communicate this to you. You, again, made me feel the exact same way. You shut me down. Like, you need to feel some kind of pain, whether or not it matters or not. And that will tell me my next move.
Also, Gray Walk is Gray rocking, but never sitting down. You just walk around the house, like, without saying a word. Around the block, you can go around the block too, but you do not stop.
Oh, I was thinking it was like a gray Chewbacca.
Gray Walk. He's the
I was
elder.
thinking it was a rock that looks like
he's the elder.
A Chewbacca, but gray.
If I could do the Chewy noise, I would. Tony, you got a Chewy noise? He's thinking.
Can you do it?
No,
Is
I
it
can't.
Caden who
I
can
said
do it?
if I could do it, I
Oh.
would do it. I think Shane might be able to do it.
Oh, Shane. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Walkman.
Do you have a Chewbacca? There it is. Yep. He's got a good one. Okay, so definitely ATA here, OP, and hopefully things turn around for you.
Red Wolf said they did it for us.
Nice.
I
If you
love
can
that.
do the Chewbacca sound, do it now. Thank you very much. Hello there, Dusty Thunder, here with a best of Redditor update for you. Daughter is suspended from school for 2 weeks, and school will only let her back if she gets unnecessary therapy. Please help. My daughter is 6 and just started first grade. The school brought in a wildlife instructor to show them some animals. My daughter hates snakes, and that was one of the animals they brought. The instructor told her to touch the snake. She said no. The teacher also told her to touch the snake. She said no again. Both the instructor and the teacher began pressuring her to touch the snake and told her they wouldn't move on until she did.
She's 6! She's in first grade!
Do we need to read more of the story? She started crying and ran out into the hallway. She stayed in the hall right outside the door. This is the story from the teacher, FYI, so I know my daughter isn't lying or exaggerating. I got called into school, and the principal said that running out of class without permission is an automatic 2-week suspension.
Oh, hell no.
When I heard
Hell
the story, I asked why they didn't just let her not touch the snake. It seems to me that she had a fairly expected reaction for a 6-year-old in that situation. They said that they were doing exposure therapy and were working to make sure she got over her irrational fears.
Burn it down.
I'll be like, oh, time out. Okay, what are your irrational fears? Would you like to try some exposure therapy? I asked if there was any way that they could change the suspension since I can't afford unexpected childcare for 2 weeks. They said that they would waive it if I could show proof of her getting her therapy for her fear of snakes. Frankly, I can't afford therapy, and even if I could, there are many things that my daughter could make better use of than therapy for a fear of snakes when we live in a city and rarely encounter snakes. I'm furious with the school and also at a loss. Can the school put her through exposure therapy without my permission? Would a lawyer help me get her back into school? Are there any legal remedies here? Please help. Thanks in advance. Relevant comments. Escalated up the chain. If they still ignore you, inform them that you will file a complaint with the State Department of Education due to the principal's statement that they were doing exposure therapy and your daughter's fear of snakes was irrational. This should freak them out because you are reporting them to the state, which will involve an investigation that they may not want. None of the people involved in the incident are licensed mental health professionals, and the teacher was practicing outside of the scope of her license. That will land her in hot water with the state. OP's response: I don't believe for a second they were actually trying to do exposure therapy. I think they pushed her too hard and then made something up to justify it. It was supposed to just be a fun educational class visit. 2, so I am a mental health professional and do mental health assessment for schools. I've never done anything like this before. It seems way over the top. Most of my cases are neglect, abuse, defiant behaviors, major learning disorders, etc. Would the school accept a second opinion? OP's response: I don't know. They said I need proof that she's in therapy, and that was the only option they presented other than suspension. Okay, before the update.
Hell hath no fury. There would be like little tiny fires inside my eyes if somebody did this to my 6-year-old child. I mean, that's basically Navy's age. Also, a fear of snakes in a 6-year-old is, like, in my opinion, completely freaking normal. And also, not all snakes, like around here, you don't touch snakes because my 6-year-old doesn't fucking know what a copperhead looks like compared to a king snake or a rat snake or something of that nature. No pun intended. I would go ballistic. I would literally, like, I mean, I don't think I would have to because I think you would take care of it for me.
No, yeah. You would hear about it after the fact because we would be having serious conversations and there would be formal apologies to our child that this had happened to, and there would be a legal response here. I don't fucking care if they apologize and if they fix it.
Right?
The fact that they allowed this to happen in the first place and it happened to my child means that there's going to be some pain experienced to create some gosh heckin' change.
This seems like
you tormented my child.
This seems like you tormented them, wanted something fucking done because they didn't do exactly what you told them to do, And so you made something up on the fly and faulted the kid and suspended them for 2 weeks. Why did the kid need to touch the snake?
No
means no. No means fucking no.
Yep.
And you just taught them that when they tell somebody no, they get suspended from school for 2 fucking weeks.
Right.
Like,
And
what is wrong?
No,
what
it's
is
not a
wrong
complete
with this
sentence.
teacher?
You took advantage of a child, a 6-year-old.
Oh my god!
You crossed so many lines. Like there's legal action here, and that's still not going to fix it.
Face is hot.
Like the whole fucking world will know what happened there. It is completely unacceptable, and you've created so many future issues for this child. These are supposed to be the safest people for this kid on the planet, aside from their own parents.
Yes.
And here they are, destroying this child.
Pug Mom says, my child needs therapy because of what they did.
Yeah,
not because
exactly.
they have a fear of snakes.
Exactly.
Adults have fears of snakes. Like, I'm freaking terrified of snakes. I don't like them. I don't like the way they move. I don't like them. But I understand that they're important, but that's because I'm a rational adult. I'm not 6. Like, this is insane. I would not want my child back in that class. Like, that teacher would no longer be my child's teacher.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for your responses to my last post. After I read everything, I called in, emailed the superintendent describing what had happened. I got a call back almost immediately, and after I explained the situation, the superintendent told me that she had to call the principal, but there was no way my daughter was suspended for 2 weeks. Got a call about an hour later letting me know that my daughter could come back to school the next day, but would be placed in a different class.
Hell yeah.
I received apologies from the district and from the principal himself, though I figured that's probably not a genuine apology, but whatever. Thanks for your help. Don't stop there, OP. This is a CYA protocol, but the damage has been done. You can't unring that bell. Your daughter is traumatized now.
Right.
Don't stop there.
I'm glad they switched the class, but also, like, when this happened, when OP talked to the principal, I would have sent, like, hindsight's 2020, obviously, but for future reference, if anyone finds themselves in a fucked up situation like this, sending that principal an email and be like, per our conversation on the phone, this is what you said happened and why my daughter is suspended for 2 weeks. So that you're telling them this is exactly what was said on the phone call, and here's my paper trail. So when I sue your fucking ass for what you did to my child, done. I cannot believe that this went through 3 grown adults pushing this kid to touch a snake, a wildlife instructor, a teacher, and then a principal. And they thought the best solution to this was to suspend a 6-year-old for 2 weeks.
Garbage. Obviously NTA for you. However, this wildlife dude and the teacher, both black holes. You did that to a kid. That's gross. Principal two. Yes. You're right there with them. Black hole. I don't think there's any way that you're working for the school district or any school ever again. Or wildlife, whatever. Unacceptable.